it felt like I was watching Jurassic Park 1 again. Obviously, that's a really high bar, right? Jurassic Park 1 is one of the god tier movies, so it's not at that level, but it just kind of made me feel nostalgic in that sense.
Our entire neighborhood is in the middle of like a prehistoric jungle, and there's dinosaurs roaming all over the place. And it's a dino action movie, and that's the setup.
You mentioned the raptors. Which I liked about this film was the raptors, and again, we've never seen live dinosaurs, but I think they were more historically accurate than the raptors in Jurassic Park.
There's a moment in the second half of the movie that is quite shocking. My jaw dropped. Welcome to Hate to See It with Mike and Cid, the talk show where we bring you a new movie review each week. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sid.
We're a small channel, so you'd really help us out by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and dropping a comment with your feedback. Also, we'd like to make you aware of the chapters feature. If you're just here for our verdict on this week's movie, End of Oak Street, it's real easy to skip right to that. With that out of the way, Sid, how's it going?
I know you said we bring a video or movie review every week, but we're behind.
We are behind, and it's my fault.
It's all good. But
But
this is the first time we're recording an episode while the prior episode has not released.
yeah, and we also didn't have one last week.
Ugh,
So
you truly hate to see it, but we will be back.
I needed a little break, but
It's fine.
yeah, we're
Summer
gonna
break.
we're gonna be back on schedule. Yeah, exactly.
Our 20 fans are anticipated when our next review will drop.
Well, one of them has been, at least.
Yes.
All right. So I mentioned that our review this week is a movie called End of Oak Street. Should we get right into it?
Let's kick it off. Let's do it.
All right, we'll kick it off with Cast Question. This is the segment where our friend Cast from the channel Throwbacks with the Technodrome, which we encourage you all to check out. He asked us a trivia question that we try to get right. Sid and I will work together to try to figure it out. And it's going to have something to do with the movie, or some, tangentially at least. I do have some bad news, Sid, though.
What's that?
I was getting everything ready so that we could record, and I always get the video files opened up so that I can share them. And Cass split them into two files this week. The first is the question, and the second is the answer. And when I opened up the answer, it just started automatically playing, and he gives the answer right away. So I heard it.
So we shouldn't do it then.
No, I think it's just it's a true or false. So you got a 50-50. I think you should do it. I just won't help you.
All right.
Is that all right?
Let's go for it. Since Cass took the time to record it, we might as well do it.
Absolutely. I'll have to keep that in mind for the future that it does that, or just mute my computer.
What's up, everybody? It's Cass from Throwbacks with the Technodrome, and I want to get the trivia question to you, even though I'm a little short on time here. True or false? The End of Oak Street was born out of a rejected 1995 screenplay for a sequel to Jurassic Park, which would have stood as a standalone movie that would link to the world of Jurassic Park.
All right, did you get that, Sid?
I did. I can answer it.
It's all on you.
All right, I'm gonna go false.
And you have any reasoning for that?
I just don't remember this ever being connected.
Okay. All right, let's see what he has to say.
And the answer to that is false. Not just false, but complete and utter bullshit. I just made it up now. And if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Back to you.
All right. Good job, Sid.
Looks like I didn't need you. But
we would have got that. That sounded like BS. Yeah.
Yeah, it did sound like BS. But I'm glad we got another one right. I think we're 3-1 against Cast.
Maybe 4-1. We're getting we got to start keeping score because we're starting to grow a pretty big lead here.
It must feel good for you, right? Because before you're losing to me, so now you're in the winning side. So I'd love to see it.
I think Cast might have overcalibrated or overcorrected a little bit because I was giving him, I was ribbing him a little bit for some of the questions being too difficult, and lately it seems like they've been easier.
Yeah.
But, who knows? All right, but thanks, Cast. That was fun. We appreciate you taking the time to do that for us. Apologize that I made that mistake and accidentally heard the answer, but you got to give it to me. I could have lied. I didn't have to disclose that. So you can never accuse me of being dishonest when it comes to Cast's question.
And I bet you knew it was an easy question after you saw the answer. So
I only heard the answer.
Really?
I didn't even hear the question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Yeah, I should have thought of that because when I open up the first part, it immediately started auto playing, but he doesn't
Mm,
get into the question right away, so I just pause it
yeah.
immediately. Yeah, so that's what happened. All right. So with cast question out of the way, and again, go check out cast on Throwbacks with the Technodrome. But with that out of the way, that brings us to our next segment, the 60-second setup.
And I think this week it is your turn. So let's do it, Mike. 60 seconds or less, starting now.
All right, so this movie is set in 1982 in suburban America on Oak Street. We don't really know exactly where it is, somewhere in America in 1982. Focuses on a family played by Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, Denise and Greg are their names, and their two teenage children, a boy and a girl. Movie starts off with like a block party. There's music playing, barbecue. They're doing potato sack races, all that kind of fun summer stuff that people used to do back in the 80s. But beneath the surface, there's some troubles with the family. Greg has lost his job recently, and he hasn't told Denise, and he's delivering pizza. Denise is writing a fiction novel and is contemplating asking for a divorce. And the son is dealing with a bully issue. I forget if the daughter has any issues. So that they're dealing with those issues, and then some strange things start happening in the town. There's this tree that starts growing in a woman's backyard that is like a prehistoric tree. Um, uh, One of the neighbors who they get into arguments with all the time finds a big pile of excrement, humongous
Shit.
pile of shit in the backyard, blames it on the kids. And then there's this tremendous, what they think is a lightning storm, um, and some kind of sonic boom that like um, uh, pops their eardrums. And then they go outside, and their entire neighborhood is in the middle of like a prehistoric jungle, and there's dinosaurs roaming all over the place. And it's a dino action movie, and that's the setup.
Nice. You were very close to getting 120 seconds. Very
120?
yeah.
I thought that was closer to a minute. I didn't realize it was two.
No.
All right,
But good job.
that was
And
good.
that is the 120-second setup.
Yeah. So what's our next segment, Sid?
So next we're going to talk about the hate to see it. Where generally we give two things each that we did not like about this film.
That's right. And since I just did the 120-second setup, why don't you kick it off with your first hate to see it?
All right, 60 seconds or less. Well, no, I don't have to do that for this
You
segment.
could take as much time as you need.
All right, so why is this movie called The End of Oak Street? It kind of felt like the end of House, what's their last name? Platt Street? Yeah, the end of Platt family's house. Because as you had mentioned, the movie starts out summer blockbuster. Everyone's having a great time. You see all the neighbors. It seems like a busy neighborhood.
Hmm.
And then eventually, when shit hits the fan, the neighborhood, in my opinion, disappears.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's dinosaurs roaming around. Spoiler alert, this is a spoiler section. And you can imagine a lot of the dinosaurs killed off a lot of the neighbors. But the neighborhood kind of felt empty to me. It didn't feel like a neighborhood anymore. I wanted to see more people. I wanted to see more chaos. And I get that this film's about the family and their internal struggles that they're going through, and maybe how these events will help them get back together. But I just kept wondering, where is everyone else? So that kind of disappointed me because it could have added more quality stuff, in my opinion, by having the neighbors. Like you could have seen neighbors getting together in groups, starting factions, working together to kill the dinosaurs potentially. You can see some human conflict where neighbors attacking one another, just like stuff you would see in like a zombie film or something like that, right? That whole element was gone. It does make sense. This film I think was pretty quick. Like it never dragged, so I think maybe that was part of the plan. They didn't want to like throw in that extra stuff. But again, to me, it just felt like not enough other neighbors throughout the movie. I'm not saying there was zero. It just felt that the whole neighborhood was empty. It's like the humans got replaced by the dinosaurs. The movie starts off like you said, like the daughter had her friends, the son had his friends. There was the bully. Yes, you get to see the bully a little later, but like all the friends kind of disappeared, right? So I was a little upset about that. And having more people in the film with dinosaurs gives you more creative ways to kill people off, make it even scarier. So that was just one complaint I had, but it didn't really take away from my enjoyment of watching this film.
All right, that's interesting, Sid. I didn't really think about that. I'm going to weave in my first hate to see it into what I have to say here. I have a lot to say here. That was a very interesting point. I think in terms of story, the explanation is people are just boarded up in their houses trying to avoid the dinosaurs. And also, a lot of people, I think, just get killed off pretty quickly. I think that's probably the explanation. I think the real world explanation is this movie is a relatively modest budget for a movie like this. It was made on only around $90 million. Which sounds like a lot of money, but for like an thriller movie like this, it really is not much at all. I mean, Jurassic movies are made for hundreds of millions of dollars. And a big chunk of that, I'm sure, went to Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway. And they probably saved a lot of money by having a small cast, I'm sure. So my hate to see it is some of the visuals in this movie I don't think are great. And I'm sure they save money there as well. The CGI I wouldn't say is bad. It's just kind of mediocre. It's not. It's just definitely a step below like Jurassic movies and big blockbuster movies. The other issue I had with the visuals, I don't know if you noticed this. Um, there were a number of scenes that I felt the visuals were very soft, like almost blurry. Like it looked almost out of focus in a lot of scenes. I think it was a stylistic choice. I didn't particularly like it. And it might have been to contrast with I was reading about this. There were a number of shots in this movie that uses something called a split diopter, which is this something that you put over the lens that allows the foreground and the background to both be in focus at the same time. There's some really cool shots in this movie that use that. So like a lot of times there will be characters in the front of the frame that will be perfectly in focus, and their backs will be turned to a dinosaur who's stalking them, and the dinosaur is in focus as well.
Hmm.
And those shots are amazing. Those look really good, but there are a number of shots that look out of focus, and I think it was a stylistic choice. I just didn't really like it that much. So that's my hate to see it.
All right, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I didn't realize, like you said, that they spent only 90 million, but now that I'm looking back and trying to think of the scenes, yeah, it makes sense that it was impacted by the low budget.
All right, should I give my second hate to see it? We'll do a little snake draft, or should we go back and forth?
I can go.
Yeah, go
Let's go.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm not generally not a huge Snake fan, but I'll go this week.
Yeah.
All right, so it kind of felt like a love triangle. So maybe it wasn't 100% a love triangle, but I disliked what was going on between the brother and sister, and then Jeanette, the new girl who moved into the neighborhood.
Okay, I did not. I don't know what you're going to say here. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So
I mean, I know
Jeanette,
the characters. I know
yeah.
the character.
So early on, before shit hits the fan, what's the son's name? I forget. So the son,
I don't remember the sons, the kids' names.
yeah. So
I want to say Jimmy, but that might not be right.
yeah, who knows? But anyway, so the son, maybe it was Brian.
I could look it up while you talk if you want.
But anyway, so the son is with his friends, and they sneak up to the house of Jeanette. So Jeanette's apparently someone new that has moved in, and you could tell that the son is like has a crush on Jeanette. So you remember this part, right, Mike? Like
Yes,
he's got,
and
so
you're
he's
right.
got,
It was Brian. So
it's Brian.
and the girl
So
is Audrey.
so Brian has a crush on her. Obviously, they hint at that, and then eventually, throughout towards middle act of the film, Brian leaves the house to go try to find their dog, who's a big character of this film. And then while this is going on, he sees Jeanette like being attacked by one of the dinosaurs. So he goes to rescue her, and he kind of fails. He doesn't really do a good job. The whole time he has a fucking bow and arrow, and he's like a terrible shot with it. So I expected more. So he's botching this basically. This is the one opportunity to win the girl over. Then his sister comes in, swoops in, and basically saves Jeanette. So they save Jeanette. They find out that Jeanette's family was killed off screen, and they're like, "You could come with us. You could come find our family, be with us." And then immediately Brian recognizes that his sister, I think, has feelings for Jeanette. Like Jeanette is now like, I don't know, I don't say in love, but you could tell there's something going on. There's something more going on, and Brian is like depressed.
Wait, the sister has feelings for Jeanette?
That's my impression. Yep.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah. So it looks like,
Are you sure about this?
I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's the vibes I was
I
getting.
was not thinking that at all. I didn't. I'm.
So like he's getting C blocked by his own sister. You can tell like he's like very disappointed in it. And where I'm
And
going
is
with
she
this,
into him as well? Into her as well? Jeanette?
Jeanette likes the girl because the girl saved her.
Are you sure about this? I didn't
I'm
pick up
pretty
on.
sure. I am pretty sure.
Okay, I have to look up this up. This
So
is totally over my
So
head.
I didn't need a subplot. This felt like something that could, if this was a TV series, maybe you can do this whole thing later on, like this whole dynamic. I just didn't need this in this film. It just felt like out of nowhere. And then the way the movie ends, there's a second Jeanette. So does it mean like the sister calls dibs on one of them and then he gets dibs on the other sister? So are they going to be technically Eskimo brothers and sisters at this
Well,
point?
okay. So, you said there's a second. This is spoiling the ending, I
Big
guess.
big spoiler.
So, all right. I guess we could just talk about it now.
Or
Major.
should
What?
are you potentially going to say any love or hate to see it that might involve this or no? Because we could
No.
save it too. Okay.
Actually, one of them. Yeah, one of them would.
So maybe save it. Maybe table
Okay.
it.
All right. But are you sure there's two? Because
Yes. Yeah.
they they both
Yeah.
go back in time, or they both go.
So I guess we can talk about it now. Basically, Jeanette tells the family at the end, like, "I'm gonna go try to save my family,"
Right.
and she succeeds. She succeeds. So she saves her family, but there's another version of her because of the whole time travel.
But okay, so how do you know that maybe she didn't just save her parents
No,
and
I saw
then
her. I saw the two of them.
there were they showed two of them?
Yeah. Yeah. They
It's
show.
like standing next to each other?
Yeah, at the picnic. Yes.
I
There's two. There's
totally missed
two.
I totally missed that.
Oh.
Was there like a lot of characters on screen?
It looked like just, I mean, like, potentially, but it was definitely their family and Jeanette's family.
Okay, I totally
So I
missed
didn't
that.
need it. Like, what the hell? Like,
I don't know
ugh.
how I missed that.
So I hated to see that.
That's weird.
It is weird. It just seemed like
Okay.
they were just trying to throw in an agenda we didn't need in this film.
Well, I don't know how
We didn't
that's
need. But it's like it's a long girl. It's young girls finding that they're lesbian
well,
potentially.
I didn't detect that at all. Like I wasn't looking for it, so it just went over my head.
It sure did, obviously,
Are
right?
you sure you're not picking up on something that wasn't there?
We'll Google it later, but that's what I
All
hated to
right,
see.
well,
If I'm
okay.
wrong, I'm sorry, viewers. But
All
there's
right.
definitely two Jeanettes.
Well, I believe you. I believe you. This is crazy that I missed this stuff. All
Yeah.
right. I think I was just thinking about a lot of other stuff. So okay, my second hate to see it then is this like sci-fi mumbo jumbo that they use to explain. I guess this is actually where we're gonna have to talk about it. Like at the beginning of the movie, during this like block party, like the daughter Audrey mentions that she's like interested in Carl Sagan and like reading about wormholes and stuff.
Mhm.
So, and that ends up being like the explanation of what's going on in this movie. There's like naturally occurring wormholes that actually transport their neighborhood into dinosaur times, and then a segment of the dinosaur world is swapped and goes
Yeah.
into the present. And so I just thought it was like very, very convenient that she was able to figure this out. But really, the mom, Denise, like figures it out even before. Like she explains it. She's like, I think we moved back in time. It's like I had no idea. I just knew that the movie was dinosaurs in a neighborhood. I didn't know anything more than that. I was like,
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out what was going on. I don't know how they jumped immediately to we time traveled our entire neighborhood time traveled millions of years into the past. I was like, okay, that was not on like my top five list of explanations of what was going on. So I was like, okay, that seems very convenient. You kind of just got to roll with it. And the movie is kind of an absurd premise, but it's a lot of fun. But that's my second hate to see it.
All righty. Yeah, you hate to see it. I still can't get over what I was talking about earlier.
That's crazy. I got to look this stuff up. I missed it completely.
Might have to rewatch it now, but let's get into our love to see it's now.
Love to see it, where we each give two things that we loved about the movie. I can go.
All right, go for it, Mike.
I really loved that this movie had this classic like Amblin Entertainment feel to it. That's like Spielberg's production house.
Yep.
It's set in the 80s. It's got this feel of The Goonies or E.T. A lot in common, I think, with Jaws and obviously Jurassic Park. So it's a very nostalgic movie. It just everything looks right. Like the older houses, the way they're furnished, the way they're styled, the clothing, the older technology, uh, and just I mean, just the way the movie is shot. The action, um, the way that the movie can be exciting
Hmm.
and be very terrifying at times. All very reminiscent of those movies from the 80s. So I love to see that.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, Mike. Same thing here. Just it felt like I was watching Jurassic Park 1 again. Obviously, that's a really high bar, right? Jurassic Park 1 is one of the god tier movies, so it's not at that level, but it just kind of made me feel nostalgic in that sense. Like you said, the Steven Spielberg era of films. So 100% agree with you on that. To me at the end of the day, dinosaurs felt scary again.
They did, yeah.
And,
And
and go ahead, you were saying something?
well, I was going to say that's actually my second love to see it.
Okay. But yeah, they felt scary again. It created a tension that I felt was kind of, in my opinion, was missing in the last several Jurassic Park films.
100% agree with you there.
It just the stakes felt raised, like anything can happen at any moment. No one was safe. And that's why I love this film. Like I just love not knowing what was going to happen next. I love knowing that anyone could be killed off next, and just really enjoy that throwback to an 80s, like 80 classic movies from the 80s.
Was that your love to see it?
Yeah, yeah, it was. I
Okay.
don't, I, I just added, I wanted to add into the stuff you said earlier. Add some other
Yeah,
stuff, but you repeated it, or you said
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I actually kind of separated out my second love to see it is this movie actually is quite terrifying. I
Hmm.
don't think there's been a Jurassic movie that was this scary like since the first one, probably.
Yep.
There's a number of things the movie does to make it quite scary. Like you and I have been rewatching the Jaws sequels.
Yes.
This movie's far more terrifying than those
Oh,
movies.
for sure.
Um, and you had talked about there's not a lot of characters in the movie. There's not a lot of people. I think that adds to the frights to the movie. If you had a scene where like there's a T-Rex just going down the street, just wrecking houses and just eating people up, that's not scary. But you
Yeah.
only have a few people and they're all in mortal peril, and you don't know who's going to live, who's going to survive. That's much more terrifying. And uh, once this all starts happening, once the dinosaurs show up, one of the first scenes is Anne Hathaway goes into her neighbor's house, who's helping her write this book, and she finds her dead on the ground.
Mm.
And she turns her over, and she had been bitten at the neck, and you see bloody footprints outside. I
Yes.
think it was a velociraptor that killed her. Um, I mean, that kind of gore, it's not like huge gore, but there's that kind of blood. I don't feel like that's been in a lot of Jurassic movies recently. I think maybe the first couple had it,
Yeah.
but that made it more realistic,
Hmm.
and scarier. And the movie, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'm sure there were like jump scares, but most of the scares are, um, you just not you don't really know what's going to happen, and there could be a dinosaur stalking one of the
Yep.
characters, and I mean there are a few scenes that are quite frightening where the characters are literally trapped, like you don't know how they're going to escape.
Yep.
They're surrounded, so that kind of stuff is very scary. And it doesn't feel like the characters have plot armor. So, like one of the things that Jurassic movies do is it's usually very easy to determine who's going to live and who's going to survive. It's like the main good characters are they're all going to survive, for the most part. The bad guys, the ones that die, are usually the bad guys,
Yes.
like the scummy lawyer in the first one, like the poachers, like those are the ones that die. This one, like some very sympathetic characters get killed, like that elderly woman. There's a librarian.
Hmm.
Um, the girl's parents. So yeah, that kind of stuff. You don't really know who's going to live, who's going to die. That kind of stuff makes it scarier too. So I'm not like a huge horror fan, as I've mentioned, but it's not classified as a horror movie. It's classified as like an action thriller, but it's got definitely got a lot of horror elements in it, and I really liked it, surprisingly. So yeah, that was my second love to see it.
You mentioned the Raptors, which I liked about this film was the Raptors. And again, we've never seen live dinosaurs, but I think they were more historically accurate than the Raptors in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I
They're
think they
not
had
as
more
big. I think they're supposed to be a little bit smaller than they are in Jurassic, and then they have the feathers on them.
feathers. The
Yeah.
feathers was yeah, so that was a nice touch.
Hmm.
All right. One thing I should have said earlier, maybe you can splice this up and edit it and add it to the dislike section. The hate to see it. One thing, bonus thing I hated was Anne Hathaway. And I
Okay.
don't mean the character, I mean the actress.
Oh, really?
What I hated was what she said in the comments, like during the interview, not the interview, during the press junket part. She basically said like you can't have like dogs killed off in a movie. If you kill off a dog in a film, it should be rated R. And obviously the dog survives in this film. But what I really hated was the treatment of cats. So cats, I'm pretty sure were killed off in this movie. So what the hell, Anne Hathaway? Like why are dogs protected but cats are not? Like why is that? Why is it a big deal that dogs get killed but not the cats? So I dislike that aspect of it.
I remember the one scene where there's a cat that's running out of a house, escaping.
Yeah.
I didn't see what its fate was, though. I don't remember if it got eaten or stomped on or something.
There's a scene. I'm pretty sure it was a cat where I think it was the raptors were feasting on one of the cats.
Ooh.
So I dislike that. So Anne Hathaway, why are you protecting dogs and not cats? All right, let's get into my second love to see that. Yeah. So I've always wanted a Jurassic Park franchise to explore more of the dinosaurs in our world, in our environment. And yes, they've done that before, but I don't think they really went all the way in. Jurassic Park took the dinosaurs into a world where Oak Street, what I'm gonna say, took Oak Street takes an ordinary piece of our world into their world. So I really enjoyed seeing the neighborhood aspect of the dinosaurs. I thought they did a tremendous job giving us a new version of dinosaurs attacking people. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be scarier when we see dinosaurs roaming around neighborhoods than a Jurassic Park, right? Because it's gonna make you feel like this. If this happened, it'd be terrifying. If there was dinosaurs running and around my street, I'd be scared shitless. Like, they're invading our territory. So to me, that's like even scarier than having people like trapped in one of the islands. And I think Jurassic Park does that too much. There's an island after island. They keep introducing more islands. Like I just want them to really dedicate a film into our neighborhood, into our world. So I was really happy to see a film do that. Bring the whole dinosaurs to us, and it was a clever way how they did it. It just really heightened the fear, like I talked about earlier. So yeah, I really love that the dinosaurs came into our world, into our neighborhood. It took things up a notch, and I was really hoping to see that more explored with the other Jurassic Park films. So I'm happy I finally got to see that right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, some of the Jurassic Parks have like we've seen a little bit of
We've
that,
seen
but not to this extent. Uh, one like
which movie was it? I felt like there were like
well, the
one of
Lost World
the
ends on the
yes, it
mainland,
ends.
and then I think Dominion has a lot of stuff like in the real
Yeah,
world.
and I think Dominion was kind of like how do we coexist with the
Yeah,
dinosaurs?
that was the main plot point.
But then there was a lot they could have done a lot more because they eventually go back to the island again in that film
Yeah,
too.
they do. Yeah,
So I'm
that's
just
the
glad.
worst. That's the worst Jurassic Park in my
Yeah,
opinion.
so I'm just glad we finally got an all-in dinosaurs in our element in our world because at the end of the day, like that's something you never think would happen. So it's cool seeing it lit on the big screen.
I have just like a little bit of things really nitpicky.
Hmm.
I think if this if this were to actually happen, which is absurd, this like portion of a neighborhood gets
Yeah.
transported into the Jurassic period or whatever in the middle of this prehistoric jungle. I think the dinosaurs maybe would check it out, but then I think they would just leave it alone because there's none of the plant life that they eat here. It's
Mm.
just a bunch of buildings, it's a bunch of concrete, and the people are not their ordinary diet. So I think that it's kind of like when humans build like a city in the middle of a forest, like the animals just clear out. You don't
Mm.
see like, you know,
Yeah, I get what you're
you don't
saying.
see like bears and like deer like in Manhattan, right? So
Yeah,
I think that's what kind of would happen, but that's just obviously that's extremely nitpicky. You wouldn't have a movie if that was what happened.
that's true. The movie would have ended a long time ago.
All right, so love to see it's out of the way. We don't have any what ifs this week.
No, no what ifs. I think we just get into our final verdict.
Let's do it. The verdict. This is our segment where we give you our final review of the movie.
You want to go for it?
Sure. This movie was a really pleasant surprise. Uh, Very nostalgic feeling movie. Like I mentioned, reminiscent of those 80s Spielberg Amblin Entertainment movies. Uh, I thought the performances were very good. Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor were very good in it. And they did a good job of making you root for the characters. There's growth to the characters. Um, Very clever ending, which
Hmm.
we discussed the ending. I won't discuss it here because this is the non-spoiler segment. Um, but it was not something I was expecting, and it was clever and it was satisfying. And the movie has a lot of good scares in it, which, I'm not someone who usually likes that. Like, this is near probably my limit. I could go a little
Yeah.
scarier than this, but yeah, yeah, I was at the edge of my seat, in suspense for most of the movie. It was exciting. It's a really exciting movie. It was a really nice surprise. I kind of felt like after Spider-Man, like movies were not going to be as big a
Hmm.
spectacle, as exciting from this point on. But no, this was great. I love to see it. I'll give it 4 stars.
Really love to see it as that's not truly love.
Truly Love is 4.5
Four
or
and a half, four and a
5.
half. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you for
but
sharing.
yeah, I mean, 4 is very good.
No, it
So
is really good.
yeah,
Yep, I agree. I always forget with the scale. I
yeah.
wish we had something that would pop up and show the scale. But yeah, I'd love to see it, Mike. I agree with you. The end of Oak Street, yes, gave me something I didn't realize I was missing. It's a dinosaur movie that actually made dinosaurs feel scary again. I love the idea of like taking an ordinary what's it called?
Suburb.
Yeah, suburban neighborhood and dropping it into a prehistoric nightmare. We've seen Jurassic Park with people taking on the dinosaurs and Jurassic World, like I said earlier, tease of what happens if they came into our world, to our area. But this took it to the next level. This was like a fresh way of giving us a concept that we all love. You said this earlier, I also love the old school Spielberg feel to this, the 80s, the setting, the family dynamic, especially the atmosphere. There are moments in this film where the neighborhood is completely quiet, and I don't know, we talk about sound a lot, but that quietness like made it even scarier because you didn't know like when the dinosaurs like you could tell there was dinosaurs lurking, but you didn't know 100%. And then when they finally came to attack someone, like yeah, it was executed really well. Is it perfect? No, it's not a perfect film at the end of the day. But I wish, like I said earlier, I wish they included more of like the neighborhood in it. I get why they didn't. It was definitely fresh. The ending was definitely unexpected, right? It definitely shocked me with the ending. But yeah, some people may not like the ending. Some people love it, but it doesn't take away at the end of the day what this film really accomplished. So 4 stars. I agree with you. I love seeing this. It was a good film. I recommend people go check this out.
Yeah, so we're in agreement on this one. Yeah, definitely check it out. I think this is one that's going to play much better in theaters than waiting just to watch it at home. And also, just as a little tease, we didn't even talk about this. I'm glad we didn't. There's a moment in the second half of the movie that is quite shocking. My jaw dropped. I
Let's talk about it because I want to talk about that and the so
Do you
spoilers
want to
now.
talk about it? I guess we could talk about it. We got a few more minutes.
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
Yeah, this is a big spoiler. So,
It is
like,
a big spoiler.
I would recommend not listening to this part. If you think you're going to see the movie, don't watch this until you've seen the movie.
Yep. And
Um,
you go ahead.
so there's a big T-Rex attack
Yep.
near the end. I guess somewhere in the second half of the movie. It's chasing Anne Hathaway and
Her husband.
and her husband, but mainly her at first.
Yep.
And she is like cornered on this front porch of this house. And the T-Rex is like trying to get underneath the roof and eat her. It's getting
Pretty
extremely
close.
close. Like it's very scary. Like it takes a number of chomps, like almost biting her legs off. This is like a prolonged scene, very scary.
Yep.
And then Ewan McGregor comes up with a sledgehammer,
Sledgehammer.
and I actually laughed at this moment. Um,
Yeah.
he swings it right at the T-Rex's face, I guess.
And he knocks it
First,
down.
he distracts it, or maybe he hits it once,
Yeah.
and then it turns around and he hits it in the face, and it gets knocked down for
I've
like
never seen that.
10 seconds. I guess, I mean, it was a direct hit with the sledgehammer. I guess it
Yeah,
could.
but it's a T-Rex.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny. I laughed. I
Yeah.
laughed. But then the T-Rex, like about 10 seconds later, gets up and he's going after Ewan McGregor. And here's the spoiler: takes a bite out of him and bites off his leg,
Rips it off.
rips it off. You see him
Yep.
amputated,
Yep.
missing a limb. And I'm like, oh wow! Just for a split second, I'm like, oh wow, he's not gonna have a leg for the rest of the movie. And
Yeah,
then,
I was
but
thinking about that.
I didn't even get a chance to complete that thought because then
It's-
the T-Rex comes back and just eats him. It's like, holy shit! The main character of the movie just got eaten by the T-Rex.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Crazy. That was shocking.
Crazy. Yeah,
That
yeah.
really added. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big moment. So yeah, that was
Yeah, so
that
it's a
was-
big moment, and then you can't believe it. But towards the end of the film, when Denise figures out this whole time travel stuff,
Yeah, this is
and
also another huge
yep,
spoiler.
Huge spoiler. So they finally get out of the situation, right? They go back in time, right? They go back in
They
time.
find this like I guess there's like a naturally occurring wormhole that they jump through to return
Yes.
to the present. And
So they
when
return to, yeah,
oh, but it's like an hour before
correct.
everything
It's an hour
happens.
before the events. So she
Before
sees
the
the
events.
clock and she's like, shit, we have like an hour before it's going to happen again. So then I dislike this part. I don't know how it made sense. She calls her husband and orders pizza. So he shows up with the pizza. But wasn't he at a home at this point? Like, he was like, it didn't make sense that so he'd have to leave home, go to the pizza place, get an order, but whatever. That kind of bothered me because it wasn't like,
it's possible. I mean,
I don't know, it was too convenient in my opinion. But anyway, he delivers the pizza and he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" Right? He's like shocked, whatever. And then, obviously the events happen again, and then he sees the dinosaurs. He's like, "What the hell? There's dinosaurs here?" So then you cut through a couple scenes later where they're basically at a family picnic. Oh no, they basically show her.
she calls the other neighbors as well,
Yes,
like the old
but
lady, the
But
librarian.
they don't show that. They don't show that right away.
Right.
So what happens is like they're interviewing. I forget. Something's happening where it's like a news show.
Yeah.
And then all these neighbors that live like, yeah, she call us. I can't believe this happened. Like one of the neighbors like, I thought she didn't like me. So she basically saves a bunch of the neighbors that we see in the film. No
Right,
one knew
she
it.
gets them to leave Oak Street.
Yes,
Because
leave
Oak Street is the segment that's going to go back in time.
Exactly. And that's the scene where I'm talking about when there's two Jeanettes. So basically, the thing that bothered me is basically she sacrificed her other family in the other timeline because at that point they no longer have their father. So she steals their father to come live with them. So that kind of like disturbed me a little.
So I was sort of thinking about that, but then yeah, right?
It's true though. She steals them.
Yeah. So what would like I said, the rest of the family still would have gone back in time, right?
Yeah.
But without Greg, without
Yeah,
Ewan
so
McGregor.
so
And
the
then you assume that I guess they still would have found their way back anyway.
I don't know because you don't see them celebrating with them at the picnic, right? If you have two Jeanettes, you would think you would have two of their family with minus two husbands.
No, because there's like a time loop going on. So the reason there's two Jeanettes is because Jeanette went to her family's house and warmed them and then got them all to leave.
Correct. But I'm saying, but the second version of this family, I think, died.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the original version of the family died.
No.
So
The original family. Yeah. Go ahead.
So no, because what would have happened is they all stay out. Denise, Greg, and the future or the second version of Greg.
Second Greg.
They all stay in the present.
Yes.
But then there's another version of Anne Hathaway. There's another version of the kids, and then they go back in time. So they all go back in time, but the Jeanette doesn't go back in time. That's why there's two Jeanettes because they escaped Elm Street.
Correct.
We're gonna have to wrap this up, but it's.
I think their family died.
I don't think so because
the dinosaur event still happened.
There's multiple timelines.
Yeah, there's multiple timelines, but then I don't know. Basically, there might be a sequel. I'm curious to see what happens.
I think they definitely said it. They can set up a sequel easily. All right,
Mike. What's next week? We're not sure. It might be 20. It might be Mutiny. We will see. But it's good to be back, Mike.
Yeah, it was good. Good movie. Fun to discuss it. A pleasant surprise. Thank you.
See it.
Thank you. Go see it, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
All right.